The emergency room of Riverside General Hospital was quiet for a Thursday night. Nurse Amara Wright checked on the few patients in her care. She had worked in emergency medicine for 20 years and knew better than to mention how calm things were. Saying it out loud often brought chaos. Her peaceful night ended when the ambulance doors burst open. 2 paramedics rushed in with a man on a stretcher. His skin glowed with a strange blue light that no one had seen before. Male, about 30 years old, found unconscious in Faro Park, one paramedic said loudly over the sudden noise. His vital signs are not stable. His body temperature is very low. And as you can see, something is very wrong with his skin. Dr. Keller walked toward the patient slowly. What are we looking at? Radiation? Chemical exposure? We don't know. The paramedic answered. He had no ID on him. He might be homeless. As they wheeled the man past the nurse's station, the staff backed away. The blue glow from his skin cast weird shadows on the walls. More worrying were the crystal-like formations spreading across his arms and face, like frost on a window in winter. Take him to Isolation Room 3, Dr. Keller ordered, already stepping back, and call the CDC. This could be catching. Everyone moved quickly, but Amara noticed something concerning. Despite the urgency in his voice, Dr. Keller wasn't moving toward the patient. None of the other nurses or techs were either. Everyone kept their distance with fear in their eyes. The man on the stretcher suddenly shook and a soft moan came from his lips. His eyes opened for a moment, showing irises so pale they were almost white against red-streaked whites. His eyes met Amara's for just a second before rolling back as he fell unconscious again. In that brief moment of connection, Amara saw beyond his strange appearance. She saw pain and fear, the same feelings she had seen in countless human patients during her career. I'll take him, she said firmly, stepping forward as others stepped back. Dr. Keller grabbed her arm. Amara, we don't know what we're dealing with here. Which is exactly why someone needs to treat him rather than just stare, she replied. She put on gloves and grabbed a mask. You call CDC. I'll keep him stable. Use all safety gear, Dr. Keller warned as he reached for the phone. And Amara, be careful. Amara nodded and followed the stretcher into Isolation Room 3. As the doors closed behind her, she realized the paramedics had already left. She was alone with the strange glowing patient. Well, she said quietly, walking to his bedside, let's find out what's happening to you. She checked his vital signs first. His heartbeat was slow, but steady. His breathing was shallow. His temperature was far below normal, but he didn't show signs of hypothermia. The blue glow came from under his skin, not from anything on the surface. Amara gently touched one of the crystal formations on his arm. It was hard and cold, but seemed to be growing out of his skin rather than stuck to it. When she touched it, the man's eyes fluttered. Can you hear me? She asked, leaning closer. You're in Riverside General Hospital. You're safe. There was no response, but his heartbeat grew slightly stronger on the monitor. Amara worked methodically, starting an IV line with fluids to help with his low blood pressure. She took blood samples for testing, though she wondered if the lab would be able to make sense of what they found. She cleaned minor cuts and scrapes she found on his hands and face, careful around the crystal areas. As she worked, she talked to him, as she did with all unconscious patients. My name is Amara, right? I've been a nurse for 20 years. You're in good hands. She checked the warming blanket she had placed over him. I don't know what's happened to you, but we'll figure it out. An hour passed. Dr. Keller spoke to her through the intercom rather than entering the room. CDC team will be here in the morning. Labs can't make heads or tails of his blood work, like nothing they've seen before. He's stable for now, Amara reported. The crystal formation hasn't spread further. His temperature is still low, but his other vitals are improving slowly. Good work. Peterson will relieve you at shift change. Amara nodded but felt strangely reluctant to leave her patient. I can stay longer if needed. Dr. Keller gave her an odd look through the glass. That's not necessary. Follow decontamination protocols before you leave isolation. After he walked away, Amara turned back to her mystery patient. His face looked peaceful now, almost handsome beneath the strange glow and crystal patches. He was young, maybe early 30s, with dark hair and strong features. "What's your story?" She wondered aloud. "Where did you come from? What happened to you?" To her surprise, his eyelids fluttered again. Encouraged, she continued talking. "When you wake up, you'll have to tell me your name. We can't just call you Blue Glowing Man forever." His lips moved slightly, almost like he was trying to speak. Amara leaned closer. "That's it. Can you open your eyes? Can you tell me your name?" His eyes remained closed, but his lips formed a word. Amara couldn't hear any sound, but she could read the shape of it. "Sam," she said. "Is that your name?" "Sam?" His head moved slightly, almost a nod. "Nice to meet you, Sam. I'm going to take good care of you." For the next few hours, Amara monitored Sam's condition. She noticed something strange. Whenever she moved away from the bed, his vital signs would weaken. When she returned to his side, they strengthened again. It was as if her presence somehow helped stabilize him. By the time her shift was ending, Amara had developed a theory. Whatever was happening to Sam, whatever the blue glow and crystals meant, it seemed to respond to human contact, to compassion, to someone who wasn't afraid to touch him. When Nurse Peterson came to relieve her, he stopped at the isolation room door. "Is it safe?" he asked, eyeing the still glowing patient with clear unease. "He's not contagious as far as we can tell," Amara said. "Just follow protocols and you'll be fine." Peterson nodded, but his reluctance was obvious. "The CDC folks will handle him in the morning anyway." Amara felt a surge of protectiveness. "His name is Sam, and he responds to voice and touch. Talk to him. It helps keep him stable." Peterson looked skeptical but nodded. As Amara went through decontamination and prepared to leave, she couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to Sam than anyone realized. The way his condition improved with her care, the way his eyes had locked with hers for that brief moment, it wasn't just her nurse's instinct talking. Sam was hiding something. Something beyond the obvious strangeness of his condition. And somehow Amara knew she would be the one to discover what it was. She glanced back at the isolation room one last time before leaving. "See you tomorrow, Sam," she whispered. "Hang in there until I get back." 3 days passed since the strange glowing man arrived at Riverside General Hospital. Amara had returned each day for her shift, and each time she found him still in isolation room 3. The CDC team had come and gone, taking many samples but giving few answers. All they would say was that his condition was not catching in the normal way. The crystal formations growing on his skin were unlike anything in medical books. What puzzled the doctors most was how the man's condition got better whenever Amara was with him. During her shifts, his vital signs became stable, the blue glow grew dimmer, and the crystal growth slowed down. When other nurses took over, his condition quickly got worse. By the 4th day, everyone agreed without saying it that Amara would be his main caregiver. She had started talking to him, even though he stayed unconscious most of the time. "You're quite the mystery here," she said while checking his IV line. "The other nurses are calling you Starman, but I think you probably have a real name. I hope you'll wake up enough to tell me soon." As if answering her voice, the man's eyelids moved. Amara quickly checked his vital signs, noting they were better than before. "That's it," she said with encouragement. "If you can hear me, try to open your eyes." Slowly, his eyes opened, focusing on her with surprising clearness. The irises were still strangely pale, but the confusion that had clouded them before was gone. "You're safe," she assured him. "You're in Riverside General Hospital. I'm Nurse Wright, but you can call me Amara. Can you tell me your name?" His lips moved, but no sound came out. After trying again, he managed a scratchy whisper. "Sam. My name is Sam Ellis." "Good to meet you properly, Sam." Amara smiled behind her mask. "Do you remember what happened to you?" Sam closed his eyes for a moment, as if gathering strength. "The crash. Did anyone else live?" "Crash?" Amara frowned. "You were found alone in Faro Park. There was no vehicle involved." A look of worry crossed his face. "Yeah, not that kind of crash." With clear effort, he lifted his hand, the crystal formations catching the light. I'm not. I shouldn't be here. Where should you be, Sam? His eyes met hers, intense and pleading. You've been helping me. Your presence. It's making the change. Slower. Change? Amara repeated, feeling a chill down her spine. I need to show you something, Sam whispered. But I need your word that you won't tell them. Not yet. Against her better judgment, Amara found herself nodding. Show me. Sam closed his eyes, focusing hard. The blue glow beneath his skin got brighter for a moment, then seemed to gather at his fingertips. Slowly, he traced a pattern in the air, leaving blue glowing lines that didn't fade away. The lines formed what looked like a map of stars, with one star much brighter than the others. That's my home, he said simply. And I need your help to return before it's too late. Amara stared at the glowing star map floating in the air between them. She had many questions, but her mind couldn't form them into words right away. Finally, she managed to ask, Are you saying you're not from Earth? Sam smiled weakly. I am from Earth, just not your Earth. Where I come from, reality is different. Before Amara could ask more questions, the door to the isolation room opened. Dr. Keller walked in, stopping short when he saw Sam awake and the glowing star map in the air. What is that? He demanded, pointing at the floating lights. The star map vanished instantly as Sam dropped his hand. Just a light effect from my condition, he said, his voice stronger than before. Nurse Wright was helping me understand what's happening to me. Dr. Keller looked doubtful, but approached the bed to check Sam's vitals. You're the first person with this condition we've ever seen, Mr. Ellis. Can you tell us how you acquired it? I was exposed to an unknown element, Sam said. It wasn't exactly a lie, Amara noted. I don't remember much else. Well, your numbers are better today. Much better, in fact. Dr. Keller made notes on his tablet. The CDC wants daily updates. They're very interested in your case. After a few more questions that Sam answered vaguely, Dr. Keller left, promising to return with specialists. When they were alone again, Amara leaned closer to Sam. You need to tell me the truth. All of it. Sam nodded, the blue glow under his skin pulsing slightly. I come from a parallel Earth, one where humans developed differently. We learned to travel between realities centuries ago. And you crashed here? In our reality? Amara was trying hard to believe him, despite how crazy it sounded. Yes. The transition between dimensions went wrong. My ship and crew were scattered across this reality. His face showed deep sadness. I don't think the others survived the transition failure. And these crystal formations? Amara asked, gesturing to his skin. My body is trying to adapt to your reality's physical laws. The longer I stay here, the more your world tries to make me conform. The crystallization is happening because my body is fighting the change. And why does my presence help? She had been wondering about this since noticing the pattern. Sam hesitated before answering. Your energy field. It's unusually compatible with mine. It's creating a buffer that's slowing the transformation. He gestured to his face, which had fewer crystals now. You've given me time, but it won't last forever. Eventually, this reality will force me to either fully transform or die in the process. Amara sat down in the chair beside his bed, her mind trying to process everything. If what you're saying is true, how can you get home? I need to build a device, a beacon. My people will be searching for survivors. With the right signal, they can find me and bring me back. And what would you need for this beacon? Materials, electronics, some things you could find in stores or schools. Sam looked at her intently. Would you help me? Amara took a deep breath. Everything in her medical training told her this was impossible, yet the evidence was right in front of her eyes. The glow, the crystals, the floating star map she had just seen. This is against hospital rules, she said. I could lose my job. You could be taken by the government for study. Why did you help me when no one else would? Sam asked softly. When everyone else was afraid? The question made Amara pause. Because you needed help, she answered simply. That's what I do. That's who I am. Sam smiled, and for a moment, the blue glow beneath his skin brightened. Where I come from, we believe that souls know each other across dimensions. That kindness echoes through all realities. Despite her doubts, Amara felt moved by his words. She had broken rules already for this patient. Was helping him further really so different? Make a list of what you need, she decided. I can't promise I'll find everything, but I'll try. Relief showed clearly on Sam's face. Thank you, Amara. As she stood to leave, Sam called after her. In my reality, we lost our Earth to environmental damage. Seeing this world still full of life, still thriving. His voice broke with emotion. Your humanity is amazing. I want you to know that. Amara nodded, suddenly finding it hard to speak past the lump in her throat. She slipped out of the isolation room with the strange feeling that her life had just changed forever. A week had passed since Sam revealed his true identity to Amara. She had begun bringing him small electronic parts, smuggling them into the hospital inside her lunch bag or hidden in supply carts. Sam kept these items hidden under his blanket. When other staff came in to check on him, the hospital administrators were puzzled by Sam's improving condition. The crystal formations on his face had almost disappeared, though they still covered much of his body. The blue glow was now only visible in dim light. To most people, he looked like a regular patient with an unusual skin condition. Dr. Keller wants to move you out of isolation tomorrow, Amara said as she entered the room for her evening shift. He thinks you're stable enough for a regular room. Sam looked up from the small device he was building under his blanket. That would make things more difficult. Too many eyes. I know. Amara checked his vital signs out of habit, though they had been normal for days. I managed to convince him you still need special care. You'll stay here at least another week. Thank you. Sam set aside his work and studied her face. You look tired. Amara sank into the chair beside his bed. She was tired. The past week had been stressful, constantly worrying about being caught helping Sam, working extra shifts to be his primary nurse, and searching for the items on his list during her time off. I'm fine, she said. How is the beacon coming along? Almost. Halfway done. Sam pulled out the device to show her. It looked like a small satellite dish made from hospital equipment and electronics. I still need a power source strong enough to send the signal across dimensions. What kind of power source? Ideally, something with rare earth magnets and high voltage capacity. He hesitated. An MRI machine would be perfect, but obviously, we can't use that, Amara thought for a moment. What about a defibrillator? The portable ones have powerful batteries. Sam's eyes lit up. That could work. I would only need it for a few minutes. I might be able to borrow one from the crash cart during a quiet night shift, Amara said, already planning. They're checked once per shift, so it would be missed pretty quickly. Sam reached out and took her hand. His skin felt almost normal now, just slightly cooler than a typical human. Why are you risking so much to help me? You barely know me. Amara didn't pull her hand away. I've been asking myself the same question. She smiled faintly. Maybe I believe what you said about souls knowing each other across dimensions. Before Sam could respond, there was a knock at the door. Amara quickly stood up as Dr. Keller entered with two people she didn't recognize. They wore formal business attire instead of medical clothes. Nurse Wright, this is Agent Franklin and Agent Reynolds from the CDC, Dr. Keller said. They'd like to speak with Mr. Ellis alone. Amara felt a chill of fear. These didn't look like CDC representatives. I'm in the middle of checking his vitals, Doctor. It can wait, Dr. Keller said firmly. Please step out. Sam caught her eye and gave a tiny nod, trying to reassure her. Amara reluctantly left the room but stayed just outside the door, pretending to update her charts. She couldn't hear everything but caught pieces of the conversation. Unusual energy readings, government facility better equipped, national security concerns. After 15 minutes, the agents left without looking at Amara. Dr. Keller followed them out, his face troubled. What did they want? Amara asked him. They're not actually CDC, Dr. Keller admitted quietly. Department of Energy. They've been monitoring unusual radiation patterns since the night Mr. Ellis was brought in. They want to transfer him to a research facility tomorrow morning. Amara's heart raced. He's not stable enough for transfer. That's not our decision anymore, Dr. Keller said. I'm sorry, Amara. I know you've formed a bond with this patient, but this is beyond our hospital now. After Dr. Keller left, Amara rushed back into Sam's room. We need to speed up our plan. Those men want to take you away tomorrow. Sam nodded grimly. I heard. They know what I am, or at least suspect. If they take me to their facility, I'll never escape. Can you finish the beacon tonight? If I had all the parts, yes, Sam said. But without a power source. Amara made a quick decision. I'll get you what you need. Be ready around 3 a.m. The hospital is quietest then. Sam looked at her with concern. Amara, if you get caught, I won't get caught, she said with more confidence than she felt. For the rest of her shift, Amara worked normally, giving no hint of her plans. When shift change came at 11 p.m., she told the night nurse she had forgotten some paperwork and would be back to finish it. Instead of going home, Amara went to the hospital chapel and waited. The hours passed slowly. At 2:30 a.m., she put on scrubs. She had borrowed from the locker room and made her way back to the ICU floor. The night shift was at minimum staffing. Only one nurse sat at the central station, and she was busy with computer work. Amara moved quietly down the hallway, her heart pounding. She located the nearest crash cart, used her badge to unlock it, and carefully removed the portable defibrillator. She placed it in a supply bag and walked calmly toward Sam's room. Just as she reached his door, a voice called out behind her. Nurse, right? I didn't know you were working tonight. Amara turned to see Dr. Morris, one of the night doctors, walking toward her. She forced a smile. Just finishing up some things with a special patient. Dr. Morris frowned. At 3 a.m? He has trouble sleeping, Amara said. I promised to bring him some reading material. The doctor seemed doubtful but nodded. Well, don't stay too long. You need your rest too. Of course, Amara said. She waited until he turned the corner before slipping into Sam's room. Sam was awake and alert. The beacon device sat completed on his bedside table. You got it? He said when he saw the defibrillator. Yes, but we need to hurry. Security does rounds at 3:30. Working together, they connected the defibrillator to the beacon. Sam made final adjustments to the device while Amara kept watch at the door. It's ready, Sam said finally. When I activate it, there will be a power surge. The hospital backup systems will kick in, but there will be a few seconds of darkness. Will it hurt you? Amara asked. No, Sam assured her. But once the beacon activates, things will happen quickly. My people will lock onto my signal and pull me back to my dimension. The reality of his departure suddenly hit Amara. This strange man from another world had become important to her in ways she hadn't expected. I guess this is goodbye then. Sam stood from the bed stronger than she had seen him before. Thank you for everything, Amara Wright. Your kindness saved my life. He held out his hand, and when she took it, he pulled her into a gentle hug. Where I come from, we don't believe goodbyes are forever. Only until we meet again. Amara hugged him back, her eyes stinging with tears she refused to shed. Until we meet again, Sam Ellis. Sam stepped back and placed his hand on the beacon. You should step back, just in case. Amara moved toward the door. What will happen to you when you go back? I'll help my people find a way to save our dying world, Sam said, and I'll tell them about this earth and the humans who still have hope, who still choose kindness, even to strangers from beyond their understanding. With that, Sam activated the beacon. Immediately, the lights flickered and went out. In the darkness, the blue glow of Sam's skin returned, brighter than ever before. The air around him began to shimmer like heat rising from hot pavement. A tear seemed to open in the air beside him, showing a glimpse of another world. crystal towers and strange light. Sam looked at Amara one last time. Remember, Amara Wright, your humanity is your greatest gift. And then he was gone. The tier closed, the beacon crumbled to dust, and the hospital lights came back on. Amara stood alone in the empty room, trying to process what had just happened. She heard footsteps in the hallway, security responding to the power flicker. Quickly, she stuffed the defibrillator back in her bag. She would return it before it was missed. As she turned to leave, something on the floor caught her eye. A small crystal, glowing faintly blue. She picked it up and felt a warm pulse like a distant heartbeat, a memory of Sam left behind. Amara slipped the crystal into her pocket and prepared to face the questions about the missing patient. As strange as the past 2 weeks had been, she knew her life would never be the same again. 2 months had passed since Sam disappeared from Riverside General Hospital. The official story was that patient Sam Ellis had checked himself out against medical advice. There had been an investigation, but with no evidence of wrongdoing and a patient who simply couldn't be found, the case was eventually closed. Amara had returned the defibrillator before anyone noticed it missing. She answered all questions about Sam's disappearance with the same story. She had left him sleeping, and when she returned for her next shift, he was gone. No one could prove otherwise, though Dr. Keller had given her suspicious looks for weeks. Life had mostly returned to normal for Amara. She continued her shifts at the hospital, cared for her patients, and tried not to think too much about the man from another dimension. But sometimes, late at night, she would take out the small blue crystal Sam had left behind. When she held it in her palm, it would glow faintly and give off a gentle warmth, as if it somehow knew her. On a quiet Tuesday evening, Amara was finishing her shift when the emergency room doors burst open. Paramedics rushed in with a young woman on a stretcher. Her skin had a faint purple glow and small crystal formations were beginning to form on her arms. Female, mid-20s, found unconscious in Faro Park, the paramedic reported. Vitals unstable, body temperature well below normal. Amara froze in place. It was happening again. Same location, same symptoms. But this time she knew what it meant. Another visitor from Sam's world had come through. Dr. Peterson, the attending physician, backed away from the stretcher. Isolation now and call the CDC. Once again, staff kept their distance. Once again, fear won out over care. Once again, Amara stepped forward. "I'll take her to isolation," she said firmly. Dr. Peterson looked relieved. "You have experience with this condition, right? From that case a few months ago?" Amara nodded. "Yes, I do." "Good. The government agents will probably be here by morning. Keep her stable until then." As Amara wheeled the stretcher toward isolation, she noticed the young woman's eyes flutter open. Unlike Sam's pale eyes, hers were a deep violet. They locked onto Amara with immediate recognition. "You're the one," the woman whispered. "The one who helped Sam get home." Amara quickened her pace, getting the patient to isolation before anyone could hear their conversation. Once the doors closed behind them, she leaned close. "You know Sam? You're from his world?" The woman nodded weakly. "My name is Lily. Sam is my brother. When he returned, he told us about you, about how you helped him." Her face tightened with pain as one of the crystal formations grew larger. "He wasn't supposed to come back for me. It was too dangerous." "Sam came back?" Amara asked, her heart racing. "Is he here too?" "He's nearby, gathering materials. We crashed in the same park, but he hid when the ambulance came for me." Lily's voice grew weaker. "He said to find you, that you would help." Amara checked Lily's vitals, noting they were worse than Sam's had been. The crystal formations were spreading more quickly, and her temperature was dropping rapidly. "You're in worse shape than Sam was," Amara said, attaching monitors. "The transition between dimensions hit you harder." "I'm not as strong as Sam," Lily admitted, "and the passage between our worlds is becoming unstable. It's harder to cross now." "Why did you come here?" Amara asked as she started an IV line. "Sam said your world was dying." It is, Lily said sadly. But before it dies completely, we're trying to save as many of our people as possible. We need to build a larger gateway, one that can bring many people through at once. Amara paused in her work. You want to bring your people here? To Earth? Lily nodded. Just a small group. Those with the skills to build a new life. Sam said this world is still full of hope, still has a chance. She looked directly at Amara. He said there are people here like you, people with compassion who might help us. Amara didn't know how to respond. Helping one person from another. Dimension was one thing. Helping a whole group immigrate to Earth was something else entirely. Before she could answer, the isolation room door opened. Amara turned, expecting to see another doctor or nurse. Instead, a tall man with familiar pale eyes stood there. His skin no longer glowed blue, and the crystal formations were gone. He looked fully human now, except for his eyes. Sam, Amara whispered. He smiled, the same smile she remembered. Hello, Amara. For a moment, they just looked at each other. Then Sam rushed to his sister's side. Lily, I told you to wait for me. The transition was pulling me through, Lily explained weakly. I couldn't hold back any longer. Sam checked her condition, his face growing concerned. The crystallization is spreading too fast. The environmental pressure is too much for her. What can we do? Amara asked, pushing aside her shock at seeing him again. I brought components for a stabilizer, Sam said, pulling small devices from his pockets. It should slow the transformation like your presence did for me. But we need to work quickly. For the next hour, Amara and Sam worked together to build the stabilizer. Amara kept an eye on the door, knowing that at any moment someone could come in and discover them. Sam worked with steady hands, assembling the small device while explaining what they were doing. Your world pushes against us, he said. Its reality tries to change us to conform. The stabilizer creates a small bubble of energy that matches our home dimension, allowing the body to adjust more slowly. When the device was complete, Sam placed it on Lily's chest. Immediately, the purple glow dimmed, and the crystal growth slowed. It's working, Amara said with relief. For now, Sam replied. But it's temporary. We need to get her out of here before those government agents arrive. Amara thought quickly. I can sign her out AMA, against medical advice. Say she's my cousin and I'm taking her home for palliative care. It would get us past hospital security. Would you do that? Sam asked, his eyes intense. You've already risked so much. I helped you, Amara said simply. I can't abandon your sister now. Sam's face softened with gratitude. There's more I need to tell you, Amara. About why I came back, about what we're hoping to do. Tell me later, Amara said, checking the time. Shift changes in 20 minutes. That's our best chance to move her without attracting attention. She began preparing Lily for transport while Sam hid whenever footsteps passed by the door. As they worked, Amara felt the weight of her decision. She was about to leave her job, possibly face criminal charges, and help people from another dimension. Her life would never be the same. Yet looking at Sam, seeing him again when she thought he was gone forever, Amara knew she couldn't make any other choice. Whatever lay ahead, whatever risks she was taking, she had to help them. Not just because Sam had returned, but because it was who she was. Someone who cared for those others would not touch. Are you ready? Sam asked as the time approached. Amara took a deep breath and nodded. Let's go. Getting Lily out of the hospital proved easier than Amara expected. At shift change, the halls were busy with staff coming and going. No one questioned Amara as she wheeled Lily out, with Sam walking beside them, wearing borrowed scrubs. The stabilizer, device hidden under Lily's blanket, kept her glow dim enough to avoid notice. Amara had driven her car around to the service entrance. With Sam's help, they carefully moved Lily into the back seat. Where to? Amara asked as she started the engine. Faro, park, Sam said. The dimensional tear is still active there, but it's becoming unstable. We need to use it one more time to bring our equipment through before it closes forever. Amara drove through the quiet streets of the city, her mind racing with questions. Finally, she voiced the biggest one. Why did you come back, Sam? You were safe in your world. Sam looked at her from the passenger seat. I came back for several reasons. To save my sister, yes. To bring through the gateway technology, yes. He paused. But also because of you, Amara. Me? She asked, surprised. In my world, connections between souls are valued above all else. When I returned home, I couldn't forget the person who saved me when no one else would help. Who risked everything for a stranger. His voice softened. I had to see you again to offer you a choice. Before Amara could ask what choice he meant, Lily moaned from the back seat. The stabilizer was flickering. We need to hurry, Sam said. The stabilizer is failing. Amara pressed harder on the gas pedal. 10 minutes later, they reached Faro Park. Sam directed her to a secluded area behind a stand of trees where the park lights didn't reach. As they parked, Amara saw a faint, purple glow among the trees similar to Lily's but much larger. The tear, Sam explained as they carefully moved Lily from the car. It's how we transition between realities. He led them toward the glow. As they got closer, Amara saw what looked like a crack in the very air, pulsing with purple light. Through it she caught glimpses of another world, crystal buildings, strange skies, and shadowy figures moving about. Near the tear, a small camp had been set up. Scientific equipment unlike anything Amara had seen before was arranged in a circle around the dimensional opening. 3 people were waiting there. They looked mostly human, though their skin had a faint glow and their eyes were the same pale color as Sam's. They rushed forward when they saw Lily. Her transition was too rough, Sam told them as they took Lily from Amara's arms. The stabilizer is barely holding. The others took Lily to what looked like a medical pod. One of them, an older woman with silver hair, approached Amara. You must be the nurse who saved my son, she said, her voice musical and strange. I am Elena, Sam and Lily's mother. We owe you a debt we can never repay. I was just doing my job, Amara said, suddenly feeling shy. Elena smiled. Sam told us it was much more than that. She looked back at her team working on Lily. Your presence helped him survive in this reality. We've been studying why. Sam joined them. Mother has a theory, he said. Some humans from your world have an energy signature that's compatible with ours. It creates a buffer against the transformation process. And I'm one of those humans? Amara asked. Elena nodded. A rare few. It makes you special, Amara right. It also means you could survive in our reality if you chose to visit. Amara's eyes widened. Visit your world? Or more, Sam said softly. That's the choice I came to offer you. Before Sam could explain further, one of his team called out. The dimensional tear was flashing rapidly, expanding and contracting. It's becoming unstable, Elena said urgently. We need to finish the transfer now or we'll be trapped here. The team sprang into action. They moved Lily into a special chamber near the tear. Others began activating the equipment around the dimensional opening, causing it to stabilize and grow larger. What's happening? Amara asked Sam. We're widening the tear one last time, he explained. We need to bring our gateway technology through. It will allow us to create a new stable passage between our worlds later. Elena approached them again. Sam, we need to go now. The tear will only hold for a few more minutes. Sam turned to Amara, his face pained. I had hoped for more time to explain everything. Explain what? Amara asked. Our world is dying, but we have the technology to save a small group of our people, Sam said quickly. We need a new home, a place where we can start over, not to invade or take over, but to live alongside humans who would accept us. You want to immigrate to Earth? Amara said, understanding at last. Sam nodded. Only about 100 of us. Scientists, doctors, teachers, people who could contribute to your world while preserving the best of ours. The tear flashed brightly and one of the team shouted that they had only 2 minutes left. Come with us now, Sam said urgently to Amara. See our world, learn about us. If you choose to return to Earth, you can, but at least see what we're Trying to preserve before you decide. Amara felt overwhelmed. Leave her life behind? Travel to another dimension? It seemed impossible. What about my job? My apartment? My life here? I know it's asking too much, Sam admitted. But in 3 months we'll have the new gateway ready. We'll return to this exact spot. If you want to help us then, if you're willing to speak for us to your people, we would be grateful. If not, we'll understand. The tear was pulsing rapidly. Now. Elena called out that they had to leave immediately. Sam took Amara's hands. Whatever you decide, know that you changed my life. You showed me that humanity has hope, has goodness worth preserving. He pressed something into her palm, a small device similar to the crystal she had kept from their first meeting. This will glow when we return. It will lead you to us if you choose to come. The team was entering the tear now, taking Lily and their equipment with them. The purple light grew almost blindingly bright. Sam reluctantly let go of Amara's hands. Until our paths cross again, Amara, right? Before she could respond, he turned and ran toward the tier. As he passed through it, he looked back one last time. Then the tier closed with a flash of light, leaving Amara alone in the dark park. She stood there for a long time, the small device clutched in her hand. Finally, she walked back to her car and drove home. The next day, Amara called in sick to the hospital for the first time in years. She spent the day thinking about everything that had happened. By evening, she had made her decision. She gave notice at the hospital. She told them she needed a change, wanted to explore new opportunities. No one questioned it much. After, all nurses often moved on to new positions. Over the next 3 months, Amara put her affairs in order. She sold her apartment, placed most of her belongings in storage, and told friends she was taking a position overseas. All the while, she kept Sam's device with her, watching it for any sign of life. Exactly 12 weeks after Sam and his people left, Amara woke in her temporary apartment to find the device glowing brightly. It was time. That evening she walked into Faro Park carrying only a small backpack with her most important possessions. The device pulsed stronger as she approached the area where the tear had been. As darkness fell, a point of purple light appeared in the air before her. It grew larger, widening into a doorway between worlds. And there, framed in the light of another reality, stood Sam, his hand outstretched. "You came," he said, his voice filled with wonder. Amara smiled and took a step forward. "I had to see, for myself, had to know if I could help." She took his hand, and together they stepped through the gateway. Behind them, the tear closed, leaving the park peaceful and dark, as if nothing extraordinary had happened there at all. But somewhere between dimensions, a nurse who had once cared for a patient no one else would touch was beginning the greatest adventure of her life, proving once again that humanity's greatest gift was compassion, a power strong enough to bridge worlds,